Hello, my name is Dr. Efrat Gill. I am from the Department of Human Resources in Western Galilee College in Israel, and the name of the presentation is Differences in Employment Perceptions and Future Expectations between Students of Jewish and Arab Origin in Israel. In light of the differences between the Jewish majority and the Arab minority in Israel in the fields of employment and education, the study focused on examining the differences between students regarding their goals. Specifically, the present research was focused on the relationship between learners' goals and the academic achievements of Jewish and Arab students. The framework was the achievement goal theory. Achievement goal theory is one of the major theories in the relationship between learners' perceptions of learning processes and their academic achievements. The theory focuses on different orientations of students in performing learning tasks at school. Personal mastery goals or task goals and personal performance goals or ego goals, ability goals were researched. Personal mastery goals are the degree to which the student is oriented towards developing his or her ability, expanding his or her understanding, and seeing the mastery of the material as an objective of its own right. Personal performance approach goals, the degree to which the student is oriented towards reaching academic achievements such as grades relative to others, and his or her perception by those in the environment as smart and successful. Personal performance avoidance goals, the degree to which the student is oriented to avoid low academic achievements and being perceived by those in the environment as a poor student. Types of performance goals. Different students tend to adopt different orientations. These orientations are associated differently to the quality of the learning. Previous findings. Performance approach goals positively predict the variables of superficial processing, perseverance, effort, achievements on exams. Achievement avoidance goals positively predict the variables of artificial processes, lack of organization, negatively predict deep processing, and negatively predict achievements on exams. Despite of the considerable volume of research on this subject, there are also some conflicting findings regarding the impact of learning goals. Some have claimed that research on the subject ignored the relationship of social aspects to two types of achievements: mastery goals and performance and personal performance approach goals. Mastery goals are related to many results regarding achievements, but there has been no clear proof that they promote learning and achievement in an academic environment. The researchers attributed the inconsistency of the research findings to the fact that the research on achievement goals did not take into account social desirability and social benefit associated with them. Motivational orientation is based on the way that students attribute meaning to school and learning. Some have argued that motivational orientation stems from the theories regarding school and learning. These theories are constructed from the culture to which they belong. Students from different cultural groups will have different theories about school and learning. Cultural differences in minority and majority groups. Different cultural groups and significant cultural differences can be found in minority and majority groups. The perspective proposed by some corresponds with findings about the differences between majority and minority groups in academic environment. Differences between minority and majority groups in academic achievements. In 2009 exam of the Program for International Studies Assessment, PISA, students who were immigrants achieved lower scores in reading abilities in 23 countries, in mathematics in 24 countries, and in science in 25 out of 28 countries. Research has also indicated that academic difficulties are more common among second-generation immigrants than among first-generation. Differences in academic achievements in Israel. Differences in the academic achievements of the majority group of Hebrew speakers and the minority group of Arabic speakers are profound. The result of the OECD test conducted in 2002 were in Israel, Israel was down to the 31st place in mathematics, 30th in reading, and 33rd in science, out of 48 countries examined. The achievements of the Hebrew-speaking students alone would have put Israel in the 12th place. Differences in the academic achievements in Israel. Progress in international reading literacy study found that the average achievement of Hebrew speakers placed them in the 11th place. Arabic speakers were placed at the 40th place. Arab minority in Israel. Several researchers have shown the difference between groups in their perceptions and education system. The attitude towards education in Arab-speaking society is ambivalent. The collectivist view of the traditional society places less emphasis on values of personal growth and development. The education system is viewed largely as a tool for academic achievements. Arab-speaking students are oriented more towards performance goals, particularly performance avoidance goals. Hypothesis. Based on these findings, in the present research, we hypothesized that a correlation would be found in both groups between performance approach goals and academic achievement, among the Arabic-speaking students between performance avoidance goals and academic achievements. Such a comparison could contribute to understanding one of the potential sources of significant differences between majority and minority groups that have been found consistently by researchers of the field. In particular, it might help identify the sources of the different differences between Hebrew-speaking and Arabic-speaking students. Method. Matched samples were used. The groups were identical in parents' education, distribution of sex, gender, distribution of family status, and age. The differences in the research variables were examined beyond differences of cognitive ability and personality measures of the students. The participants, 208 students, 104 Arabic-speaking and 104 Hebrew-speaking students. All of the students were in the middle of the school semester, the second semester of their first year at the college. Research procedure. Appointments were arranged with the students to complete the questionnaires and to administer their relevant tests. 2.5 years later, the final grades of the students were examined. 12 students did not complete their studies, therefore their data were not included in the study. Instruments. Participants as the principles of Adult Learning Scale PALS questionnaire on personal achievement goals. PALS is a self-report questionnaire developed by Gill and his colleagues. Personal mastery goals, personal performance approach goals, personal performance avoidance goal. Alpha, Converse alpha ranging between 0.8 and 0.7. The comprehension and similarities test from the Wechsler intelligence test and a demographic questionnaire. Some of the results are shown here. The Pearson correlations between performance goals and final grade among Arabic-speaking students. We should notice that the final grade and performance avoidance goal is 0.2, and is significant, and performance approach goals 0.41. Pearson correlations between performance goals and final grade among Hebrew-speaking students. Performance approach goals, performance and final grade correlation 0.25, and performance approach goal 0.38. Results. Arabic-speaking students. A positive correlation between final grade and performance avoidance goal was found. The higher the level of performance avoidance goal, the higher the final grade. Hebrew-speaking students, however, a positive correlation between final grade and performance approach goals. The higher the performance approach goal, the higher the final grade. Possible explanations. These findings of the present research support Asper's approach. He claimed that because of their collectivist value, Arab students are more prone to fear of failure. Collectivist inclination is not to deviate from the norm and the achievements expected of individuals in their society. Another possible explanation: individualistic society that emphasizes individualist values which encourage individuals to reach achievements and exceed the norm, may also help understand the findings regarding the Hebrew-speaking students, which were consistent with the expectations of a person in an individualistic society that emphasizes values of competitiveness and personal growth. Future research on level of students' perceived collectivism is necessary. Limitations. The present research has several limitations. It dealt only with Hebrew and Arabic-speaking students. The research findings refer only to one specific educational institution. Thank you very much for your attention.